Good morning. Okay, so every year at our conference, Ed usually talks about the company and the industry and kind of how all that stuff works together. And I'm a marketing guy, so all of my slides are videos. So when Ed's video took a dive, I was really hoping that would impact me because I got 15 videos. So, but looks like it's working now. So. Last year we really released Laser App Anywhere, right? We really kind of changed the industry, changed Laser App as a company. We created an entirely new platform. We took Laser App Mobile, really from our desktop solution in previous years. We created a platform, we secured it, we brought it into beta, and we really made some enhancements to it. And really at the end of last year, we kind of took it into production. So that was pretty exciting for last year. This year, a little bit different. This year we focused on making things much easier for reps, much easier for the broker-dealer, much easier for everybody. So first and foremost, what you're seeing on screen, this is a video of a new console that we've created. And what this console does, it allows you as the administrator, typically the broker-dealer, the fund company, to make your forms smart, to do it kind of on your own. A tool set that you have access to that allows you to really go in and make your forms smarter. You can make fields required. You can do something that typically or previously really is something that Laser App did for you for a fee. Now it's something that you can take on yourself, and it's much cheaper, much faster, much easier, much better. From this same console now that we've created, from the same console, you also have the ability to map your forms map all of your forms or the fields on every single one of your forms. And as I go through the different videos and the rest of this presentation, you're really going to see that this becomes extremely important. This is going to become a very important factor of Laser App and your firms moving forward, because now we have the ability to map fields on forms that makes them very, very easy to use, makes forms meaningful, makes data in forms meaningful. We now give you the ability to really tie that information together consistently, so that way when we push this information, when we move your forms downstream, when we take the forms from the world of Laser App and move them down to, let's say, your imaging system or your e-sign solution or whatever other systems you have in place, really we can deliver this information downstream and keep it useful to you. So in addition to doing this, in addition to giving you the ability to map stuff on your forms, make forms, pull information and push information around it as needed, we've built the system such that really kind of separates these forms and makes them useful. So what do I mean by that? Think about today how your reps are used, or how you receive information. So think about your back office for a second. Think about when you receive, let's say, a fax or an email or a scanned image. You receive just one giant big block image file. Mike Bridges from Paperclip calls this thing the blob, right? This is just the giant blob, which is just an image that you get in the home office, which is really not very useful because you have to open it, you have to look at it before you can do anything with it, before you can identify what you're looking at. So what Laser App does now, or what Laser App Anywhere does now, is it separates these forms out. We keep them as separate entities, and they're self-described entities. So for instance, if I'm transmitting information from Laser App, if I'm moving forms out of Laser App, every form is its own separate entity. So I know that this one is a broker-dealer new account form. I know this one is an American Funds Mutual Fund app. I know that this one's a transfer of assets, and on down the line. So this really helps me as a recipient downstream. If I'm an imaging system or broker-dealer, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm looking at now. And now you've got all this meaningful data, this meaningful information within the forms. So now I've got individualized forms, I've got self-described forms, and I've got data within forms. That's everything you need to get the ball rolling. That's everything you need to get started to kick off a workflow at a home office. That's kind of been the historic challenge of imaging systems, right? You get that stuff, it hits the back office, and now you've got to rekey all that information. Rekey information to the imaging system and other subsequent systems. So what we've built out Laser App to do this year is make that much, much simpler, much, much easier. So we've also focused on integrations and making that much easier. So I think Ed kind of alluded to this a little bit. But integrations in Laser App, we've built out 20 integrations this year. We've integrated to 20 different partners. Now I would contribute that to kind of two main things. Number one is the commitment of our partners. In the last 8 months, we brought LaserApp out of beta January 1. In 8 months, we've got 20 new integration partners. Think about the different software companies you work with and looking at their websites and how many integration partners they have total. It's probably not 20. We've got 20 done in the last 8 months. I think that's a tremendous feat when you think about the level of effort it takes to integrate with another software company. But as I said, I think the first reason for that is the commitment of the different software partners. They see the importance of it. They see the value in LaserApp Anywhere. They see the customer need, and they've really built out those integrations or worked with us to get those integrations built. So I think that's a tremendous feat that we've worked with our partners to accomplish in this last year. The other reason for that is because integrating to LaserApp is very, very easy. If you've built out an integration to LaserApp previously, the integration is 95% the same to what it was before. So let's say I'm a CRM and I launched LaserApp on the desktop previously. That integration the mapping is 100% the same, but the total integration is 95% the same. So you're 95% of the way there if you want to launch LaserApp on the web instead of on the desktop. So I think that's another big contributing factor. But as you can see, the general theme here is really that we've made things much, much easier. We've taken into account, we put a lot of forethought into it and said, how can we get these integration partners, these great partners that we work with today, how can we make them great partners also tomorrow? And the way we've done that is by making our integrations as easy as possible to do. So continuing on the integration theme, custodians and clearing firms. So there were lots of rumors kind of running around all year long. Oh, LaserApp, are you working on integration stuff with different clearing firms? What are you guys doing with Pershing? What are you guys doing with TD? I heard that a lot, right? I don't know how many broker-dealers called me directly and asked me that question. So we have both Pershing and TD Ameritrade presenting here at the conference. I'm not going to steal any of their thunder, but they're both presenting, and they're going to share with you exactly what they've been working on and what they've got planned. So we're extremely excited about that. The concept of clearing firm and custodian integration, though, is really kind of twofold. You have kind of two general models. The first model is really, if I'm at a custodian's website, if I'm an advisor and I log into a website, that's kind of starting point A is their website, right? That website then launches LaserApp, and then LaserApp pushes the information downstream. So that's kind of option A. That's where most firms that we work with typically start. The second model is maybe even a little bit more independent, which is kind of the CRM-oriented model, where the CRM is the starting point. CRM pushes information into LaserApp. LaserApp normalizes all of that information and then pushes it back up, to the clearing firm or custodian. So that's really kind of model B or option B. So those are typically the two paths that LaserApp takes in general when integrating to a big third party. And I want to talk to you for a second about feedback and the feedback we receive from clearing firms. So I kind of liken the integrations. I've been on many integration calls with clearing firms, with many of our software partners, and you can kind of make the analogy that integrating to a CRM is like building a wagon, and integrating to a clearing firm is like building a Mack truck, right? They're both pulling something, but it's a very one is much more complex and it has many more requirements. But as a software company, you grow from that. It really helps you because they show you the features you have and how you can really make those features better. And so what we've done is we've taken all those requirements, and LaserApp builds those out inherently as part of our platform. So every bit of feedback we get from these firms, we pour into the product, and then it's available to everybody. So that's something where everybody really benefits from all of the in-depth behind-the-scenes work or under-the-hood work with the different custodians. So now let's talk about software partner integration. So first I want to look at different starting points that LaserApp has. And I want to really focus on workflow and normalizing data and moving information downstream, because that's what LaserApp is really built to do now, is push information downstream. So first let's look at what I would call the first round of start points. The first round of start points are our account opening vendors. So these guys are all integrated to LaserApp Anywhere now. So you've got TechMater C5, you've got Quadrant, aka FedorLogic, EAI, BD Equalizer, and Gentech. These are all account opening / commission or compliance systems that launched LaserApp. Okay? So this is starting point A. So if you think about a day in the life of the rep, you could have many different starting points, right? So starting point A is going to be our account opening system. How many broker-dealers in the room have an account opening system? Show of hands. Okay, fairly reasonable number. Okay, so that's start point A. Start point B is the CRM, right? These are the CRM vendors that are now integrated to Laser App Anywhere. Advisor's Assistant, Salesforce, Redtail, Grendel, Smart Office, AppCrown. Now, a couple points I would like to make. Number one, Redtail was the first the first CRM to pass data to Laser App Anywhere, so I want to give them special props for that. Advisor's Assistant was the first desktop CRM to pass data to Laser App Anywhere, so I would like to give them special props for that also. So both firms really stepped up to the plate to make these integrations happen. So this is really start point number 2. So how many firms in the audience mandate a CRM at their firm? You have one chosen CRM, okay? Now how many firms in the audience, by show of hands, don't mandate a CRM and let your reps choose what CRM is their starting point? Okay, good, seems like a lot more, okay? So that's kind of starting point classification number 2. So the first one is account opening, the second one is CRM. So let's talk about starting point number 3. The data aggregators, right? Broadridge, Allbridge, Panoramics. I'm sure most firms in here probably use one of these firms or most likely use one of these firms for their data aggregation. This is really starting point number 3 for data that would typically launch Laser App. And now starting point number 4 is really the custodian or clearing firm. Maybe you're dual clearing and have multiple clearing firms. The real point I'm making here is, as a broker-dealer, you have a lot of different start points. Your reps have a lot of different start points, right? They may start an account opening system. They may start in their own CRM or multiple CRMs. You may have different data aggregators. You could have different clearing firms or custodians. So the front end of data collection gets kind of tricky, right? Because you have all of these different these disparate start points. So you as a firm may have anywhere between probably 4 or 5 and 15 different start points on any given day that your reps are using to kind of kick off their process. Makes things a little tricky, right? It's kind of what I call the cost of the independent model, right? You want to allow your reps the freedom, but it gets kind of expensive, right? Because on the back end, you're paying for that. You're paying the price for your reps being independent out in the field. Well, with Laser App, that's not actually the case now. We've basically kind of overcome that hurdle, and that's what we're going to talk about in a second. So now let's look at the back end points, or the back end pieces of this entire workflow. So the first kind of, in the post-Laser App world, you've got the downstream, right? So I've got all these data points on the start end, I've got data coming into the system, now we've got information moving downstream. So one of the first logical places might be your e-sign vendor, right? So Sinex, DocuSign, Solanus, EchoSign. These are the 4 main e-sign vendors in the space. And these 4 firms are all integrated to Laser App Anywhere. So that can be our next kind of link in the chain. You've also got document imaging. So in this case, Laserfiche is seamlessly integrated, off the shelf to Laser App Anywhere. So you've got your next downstream point. So think of your firm as I'm kind of rattling off all these different firms that are integrated to Laser App Anywhere. Think about which ones of these are applicable to you. Of the CRMs I showed you, do your reps use those different CRMs? The account opening systems, do you use any of those firms? Do you use document imaging? Are you an e-sign customer yet? So think about all those different firms and how these pieces really fit together. So kind of taking a look as a whole at the concept of integration, you really have multiple start points, right? And as I said, this is really kind of the price we pay as being part of the independent model, where you've got all of these disparate start points. You've got account opening, you've got CRM, you've got data aggregators, you've got clearing firms and custodians, but all that information needs to get normalized. It needs to get pushed through one central spot in order to become efficient on the back end. So what Laser App does is it grabs that information on the front end, regardless of what that start point is, if you mandate a CRM or not, if you have an account opening system or not, if you have one clearing firm or multiple clearing firms. That doesn't matter, because when the information moves through Laser App Anywhere, it is now normalized. It's meaningful and useful to you, and that's really what Laser App delivers to the back office. We normalize that information, that data, and those images. And when we do so, You know, everybody's got kind of their own version of the endpoint, right? You may have, you're not going to choose 4 different e-sign solutions, you're probably going to choose one. You're not going to choose 4 imaging solutions, you're going to choose one. You're going to choose one back office system and so forth. So every broker-dealer typically has one party from each of those back-end systems, and LaserApp can just push the information through each of those systems. Okay, so normalizing data. The point of all this is that we can really normalize the data and make it useful to the broker-dealer, to the back office. And hopefully that's become apparent throughout kind of what I've been saying here. But that's really the goal here, is that we can deliver all of the information from the front end, use the information the reps have keyed in and deliver that back to the home office, but normalizing that information and effectively eliminating data reentry. So you at the home office, think about where you're rekeying data today. Most BDs we talk to are re-entering data in 2 places, right? You've got information in your document imaging system. So you receive images in your imaging system, and what do? You're rekeying information saying, this is what type of form it is, this is how I need to archive it in the future, and so forth. Then you have your commission compliance, your back office, or your account opening system. That data also gets rekeyed into. So most firms have at least 2 places where data is being rekeyed today. So that data reentry effectively goes away. In LaserApp, really, kind of the unique thing about LaserApp is it works on all form types. It works across channels. You see different ways that this concept is kind of accomplished. You know, some firms will create something that works straight through, but just for a very narrow set of business, right? But nobody here operates in a vacuum, right? When reps fill out investment paperwork, they have to fill out a broker-dealer new account form or BD paperwork as well. All of this stuff works in tandem. So LaserApp gives you kind of that one spot where everything can happen all together. Right? Because as an advisor, I don't want to go to 20 different websites to get the job done, right? I want to go to one spot where everything always happens. So now let's talk about electronic signatures. So this is something that's near and dear to me. For those of you who raised your hand when Trinidad said, who's been here for 7 years, you'll remember conference number 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. I said, hey, we need electronic signatures. We need to make this happen. I've been pushing it for many, many years now. LaserApp had its first e-sign integration, I think 8 years ago, with Topaz signature pads, if you guys remember back in the day when signature pads were kind of the newer thing. So we've had signature pad integrations built or e-sign integrations built for a long time. Something that's been very important to us because LaserApp is e-forms, and what goes with e-forms? E-signatures. I don't think I need to spend much time talking about the benefits of e-signatures. I think everybody in here has seen enough on e-signatures to really understand the need for it and the benefit of it. But I want to talk about the adoption of e-signatures and what people may not know. So today within our library, we've got 700 forms providers. Those are broker-dealers, fund companies, product carriers of all types. So 700 companies in our entire library. 70 of those are e-signable today. Probably didn't know that. So 10% of our forms library is e-signable today, okay? Who are the leaders in that? Broker-dealers, clearing firms, custodians, right? Those are the primary leaders. Who are the laggards? Today, mostly the product carriers. We've got a handful of product carriers who have their forms e-signable, but for the most part, it's been broker-dealers, clearing firms, and custodians. So think about 10%. We're past the innovator stage, right? We're in the middle of the early adopter stage, and we're on our way to early majority. So we're really moving down the kind of the innovation adoption life cycle here as far as e-signatures are concerned. So I've spent a lot of time talking to different fund companies, different firms that do and do not accept e-signatures, and I've come to some conclusions around the concept of e-signatures and why they are accepted or not. Let's put it that way. So why they are accepted or not. So it's really not an issue of legality. Everybody knows that it's legal. Ken Moyle, the head legal counsel for DocuSign later today, he's going to give a presentation on getting e-signatures approved at your firm, and he's going to talk all about the legality and all that good stuff. The real obstacle is legacy. It's an issue of legacy systems because firms today, if you think about the blob I was talking about earlier, right, that image you get in the home office, every fund company is set to receive that. Right? They're not set up to receive data necessarily today. They're set up to receive the image. And so this image that they receive in the back office, because they're getting faxes, they're getting mail, they're getting scanned images, but they're not getting the data with it. Their systems are not built up yet to receive the data. And so because of that, that's been the main stumbling block, is that legacy or those systems that are in place today that need to be upgraded or changed to be able to receive information. So that's been the biggest obstacle. But we're here to change that. We're here fighting the good fight for electronic signatures. And so the way we're doing that, number one, like I said, we've got Ken Moyle, the head legal counsel for DocuSign, giving a presentation on how to get e-signatures approved at your firm. That's step one. Step two, we've got 3 e-sign vendors here at the conference. Signix, DocuSign, and Solanis. The three of the 4 vendors that are integrated to LaserApp are here at the conference to answer all of your questions. We're also going to provide you with post-conference collateral and information about getting e-signatures approved at your firm. So you're getting education, you're getting information, you have all the resources you need to get it done. And to top it all off, if your firm has not approved e-signatures yet for your forms, we're going to make it free in LaserApp through the end of this year. We're going to give you yet one more incentive point. So tell me what else I can do. If there's something else I can do to make people get their stuff e-signable, I will absolutely make it happen. But I think we've kind of exercised every avenue here to make sure we're getting it done. But I'm excited because last year before our conference, we had just over, I think it was 25 firms had their forms e-signable in LaserApp. Today that number is 70. So in the last year, we added almost 50 vendors to that list, and that list is going to continue to grow this year. So there is a tremendous groundswell when we're talking about e-signatures, guys. So really, really pay attention to it. If it's not a priority, let's make it a priority. We're doing everything we can to really help you get there. So if your firm is not there yet, let's get our firms there. So in summation, so last year we released a platform. We launched it. We put it into beta. We really kind of changed LaserApp's, really our technology direction. This year, we made things much, much easier, right? We really changed the way we do things. We made things much, much simpler. We added a console so you can make your forms smart very easily. You can add fields or map fields in your forms very easily. We enhanced all of these new integrations. We built or collaborated on 20 new integrations with 20 new partners. And we really built LaserApp with the end game in mind. LaserApp is not just electronic forms and not just filling out forms and keeping them current as we've always historically been for our advisors. We're really the deliverance of data, right? We are now a home office solution that really gives you at the broker-dealer the ability to regain your efficiency, because your rep out in the field needs to stay independent. He needs to know that. He needs to know that he's independent and he can do his own thing, but at the same time, you don't want to pay the price for that. So your rep gets to maintain his independence, but you in the home office get to keep the efficiencies that you're looking for. So that being said, I thank you guys for your time today. I would love to meet and chat with any of you. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys later today. Thank you.